and he's going to be speaking, well, the title of his speech is 4 by the 4th. You need a vision to get what you want. Greg is going to show you how his wife developed a convincing argument with his speech, titled, as I mentioned before, 4 by the 4th. Please help me welcome to the podium, Greg Geikema.
Four by the 4th. I'll never forget my uncle shouted that. It was 2 years ago. See, my wife wanted to get 4 cats. I knew that she wanted 4 cats. I didn't want 4 cats. But she kept saying, I want to get a 4th cat. And I thought she was joking. But once my wife's uncle said, 4 by the 4th, there became a vision. There was a plan, a goal. You know, it was June of 2017, so what he was humorously saying was, you can get 4 cats by the 4th of July. Well, she didn't get 4 cats by the 4th of July, but when it became July 5th, my wife still said 4 by the 4th. 4 by the 4th of August. So every month she would say this, 4 by the 4th. Now you may be wondering how I got 3 cats in the first place, since I love cats, but I only wanted a couple cats I thought would be enough. Well, I'll start back 15 years previous when I had 2 cats with my wife. She had her first cat, Precious, 10 years before we got married. So Precious was getting up in age, and we got another kitten. So we had 2 cats. And Precious was getting old, and she was beginning to use the litter box. Out of the litter box. And I thought, okay, you know, it's time. We took her for a checkup. So, oh, well, you know, she's getting old and she's got infections. And so I said, you know, I'm going to have to take this cat to be put to sleep. It was sad, but my wife said, we can get another kitten to replace Precious. I said, yes, we can. So when I took Precious to the vet, I thought it would be easy because I didn't have as much time with Precious as my wife did. But Precious was in the cage in the back seat, meowing sweetly. Meow, meow. And so I just couldn't do it. I said, we'll just keep Precious in the basement, you know, away from the house where she can't, you know, do too much damage to the floors. So I took Precious back home. I thought my wife would be all excited. And she looked, and she said, why'd you bring her back? I'd already done my grieving, and we're still getting a kitten. So I said, yes, okay, we're still getting a kitten. So that's how we got 3 cats, and that was probably 15 years ago. So we had the 3 cats, and you know, in the past 15 years, a cat would have to be put to sleep, and we'd get another kitten, and so forth and so forth. But then it was a couple years ago where the 4 by the 4th, the vision, the statement, the plan, we're going to get 4 by the 4th. Now, over time, it began to grate on me. Gosh, stop saying that. We're not getting 4 cats. That's too many. I bump into a cat wherever I go. But I remember about a year ago, I was walking down the street past. We have a couple elderly women that live down the street from us, a couple doors over, and they had 2 dogs. And I said, oh, those are lovely dogs, and I petted them. But as I looked in the doorway, I seen a cat. And the cat was putting its paws up on the doorway. And I thought, oh, that's cute. I didn't know you had a cat, too. And the elderly woman looked right at me and said, we have 4 cats. I thought, oh, okay, I got to go. I talked to the cashier at Myers. She had 4 cats. I talked to my dental hygienist. She had 4 cats. I began to think, man, this is not looking so good, you know. It's like my 4 cats was not that ridiculous after all, that my wife's proposal to get 4 cats. So as I left, you know, the neighbor's house with their 4 cats, I went back and told my wife, you know, the neighbors have 4 cats too. She said, oh, by the way, I've I've got a present for you in June at, it would be my niece's graduation last June. And I thought she was gonna get a cat, you know, put it in a box. I said, don't get a cat. I'm not getting a cat. It's a present. So at my niece's graduation last June, my niece came forward to me with this very package right here. I said, okay, it's not a cat. So I said, okay, let's open this and see what it is. It became clear when I opened it and I saw the pictures of 4 cats on it. It says here, petition for the Geikamas to have 4 by the 4th. Very cute. You may use any writing utensil of your choice. Cursive, print, we don't care. As long as your name's on here, it must be at least 4 years of age. So my wife's a preschool teacher, an assistant preschool teacher. And so what she did is, look at this. She had all her students sign it. All 16 of them signed it. And I thought, well, that's cute. You know, they're 4 years old. Of course, they're going to want a cat. But still, I wasn't going to get her a 4th cat. Until I turned page after page and noticed all of her teachers and principals and everybody had signed it too and drawn pictures and please let her get a cat. By the time I got to the 6th page when I saw the 70th signature, and I said, Mom, why'd you sign this? My mom lives like a couple hours away. I began to realize my wife had spent like 3, 4, 5 months gathering signatures of all these people. And man, she wasn't kidding. She actually had a vision, she had a goal, and she really wanted that 4th kitten. So after I read it, it wasn't just saying no to my wife, now I was saying no to the whole community who had signed this paper. So we did get a 4th kitten, and our cats' names are Citrus, Aslan, Tinker, and Seeker. If you take the first letter of each one, it spells out cats. So what is the moral of this? The moral is, I was never going to get her a cat. I'm not going to do that. We've got enough. We got enough. But if you've got a vision, first of all, get that motto, 4 by the 4th. If you've got a community to help you, and then if you overcome obstacles, you can get to your goal. So I think a good goal for our club would be 20 by 20. 20 members by 2020. So that's something for us to think about as we go forward in the next 8 months we have now to 2020. Let's get a vision and let's involve everybody together. Maybe sign some goals that we have and see if we can hit that 20 by the 20th.
Wow. 4 by the 4th. Interesting. I had a cat named Precious as well. Similar to your Precious. Please take a moment, or a minute at least, to evaluate